guys, this is Sachin Chauhan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, in this video, I'm gonna interview one of my favorite street photographer, Mr. Kagan Bastimar. So guys, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So without time waste, let's start the video. So Kagan, welcome to my YouTube channel. So basically my first question is who is Kagan Bastimar? Basically I want your brief self introduction.
Okay, Sachin, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today. It's always a pleasure for me to talk with you about photography, about life, about everything. So as you said, I'm Kagan Bastimar. I'm 32 years old. Turkish street photographer, currently based in United Kingdom. I'm married, by the way. I have a wife whom I love passionately, and I have nearly 2 years old boy, Mert, and I love spending time with him. I'm a mechanical engineer by profession, but in my spare time, I'm also interested in photography, street photography. Apart from my profession and my photography, I love playing and watching football, and I love playing and listening music. But since these days I have very limited time, I put all my hobbies aside and I focus on my street photography instead. So that's all I can say about myself.
Okay, so super. Kagan, my second question is basically you are a mechanical engineer. So how you entered into the street photography, basically?
It's a bit long story for me, Sachin, because actually the time I'm interested in photography is very short time. It all began in 2018. This is when I first bought my iPhone. So at these days, my wife Özge is interested in photography. So I was learning from her when she takes some photographs. And at the same time, I have a big brother, Serkan, who was taking some street snapshots, street photographs in his daily routine. And he was putting them into Instagram. So I thought that my brother can do it. So why cannot I do it as well? So I started photographing things around me like this. And the more I spent time in Instagram, I started seeing some new things about photography. And the first person I was introduced in street photography is İlker Karaman. Maybe you know him. He's the one of the most popular Turkish street photographers. So one day he saw my work on Instagram and he started to like my pictures, my photographs, and put some comments on it. So that's how I first met with street photography. And as the time goes by, we had a little talks with İlker. And so to me, he is the one who took me to the street photography. So it's all started like this. It's all started with a mobile phone, let's say.
Okay, so superb. Kagan, basically, my third question is, so what you like most in street photography?
Oh, that's a good question, and it's very. I have a very long answer for it, but to cut it short, street photography, I think, makes people more aware of their environment. So when I think about myself, I became more aware thanks to street photography, the things around me, the world that I'm living, and the little details and in streets, etc. So that's the first thing that I like most in street photography. It makes you more aware of your environment. So when I started street photography, day by day I became more aware, and I became enjoying my days in the streets. So this is the thing that I like most in street photography, and as well, moreover to that, you see other street photographers in Instagram or in other mediums. You see the differences, the similarities between you and the other photographers as well. That's that's another thing that I like most in street photography. So it makes you understand the world you are living in. That's the good thing about street photography, I think.
Okay, super. Kagan, basically, right now, what gears are you using in street photography?
For years, I started my street photography with an iPhone, and after some time, I entered some competitions, and one of the competitions I won a prize, which is uh, again a smartphone, which is Oppo Reno 10X Zoom. I still have it with me as well, and uh, just before this all Corona madness, I bought a camera which is Fujifilm X100V. This is my main gear these days. So I'm using two smartphones and one proper camera for my street photography.
Okay, super. Kagan, basically, do you have any particular routine for street photography?
Uh, to be honest, I don't have any specific routine for street photography because when I started my street photography journey, I haven't been spending time just to go out and shoot some street photography. So I was taking my photographs when I'm doing my daily routines. Let's say when I go to market, when I go to school, or when I go to work. On the road, I was taking some snapshots when I like something. So the discipline I have based on this fact. Therefore, I don't have any routine. But currently, I'm in Ankara with my family. I'm at my family's house. So for I think 3 or 4 times, I have a routine from walking from home to Castle of Ankara. So it became my routine these days. But generally, I don't have any routine. I just go out streets and lose myself in the streets. I was chasing light. That's the only thing I'm doing in the streets.
Okay, super. So, Kagan, basically, right now, are you doing any specific project in street photography?
Yes, I have some projects, but they are not the things that I'm focused on just doing that. So when I was taking street photographs, there are certain things catches my eye. So it happens to you as well, I'm sure. While doing all my street photography, I'm collecting some specific things to make them projects. Uh, Maybe you have seen my last post in Instagram, Sachin. It's one of the photos in my project lineup. So I named my project as lineup, in which you see people lined up perfectly within the geometry of the structures of urban life. So this is one project, and to be honest, I want to do more than just street photography. So I have one more project as well, and this is the first time I'm mentioning about this. I have a project of short movie. So I will be recording some videos and I will edit them to make a short movie. So that's another project of me that I'm very excited about.
Okay, super. So great. So, Kagan, basically, you are using phone or camera. So, what do you think? Which one is best for street photography?
Yeah, it depends on the photographer actually, Sachin. You always heard that everyone is saying that the best camera is the one with you. So whether it's a smartphone, whether it's a proper gear, or whether it's very expensive gear, the best is the one with you. So I agree with this saying because uh, I took all of my photographs, 99% of my photographs with my iPhone. So uh, some people may not see iPhone as a proper camera for street photography, but I won many prizes with the photos that I took my iPhone. So I think the best one is the one you have and the one you can afford.
Okay, super. Kagan, my next question is: so, do you have any particular approach in street photography?
Yes. As you spend time in photography, you start to develop some uh, restrictions for yourself. And my approach in street photography, the first important thing in street photography for me is for it being candid. So if street photography, I think, must be candid when we do it. So my approach to the streets being candid. That's the basic understanding of my photography, and I want to show the cleverness in my photographs when I take some street photographs. Therefore, my approach is to show how I see and how I want you to see the world around me. So it should be geometric. It should include some some super light or shadows, and it must be candid. That's all for me.
Okay, okay, super. Kagan, my next question is, what do you think, is street photography change you? Because I know that you are a father, or you are a mechanical engineer, or you have one more identity, which is Kagan Bastimar as a photographer. So what do you think? Is street photography change you?
Yeah, I think street photography changed me a lot. As I mentioned in the beginning of our conversation, it makes you more aware of your environment. So you start to observe the world around you more, and that means you get more information in your daily life, and you convert those informations, and those informations become part of your personality. So I think street photography improved me a lot on the way I see the world, the way I see the people. I wasn't aware of many things around me, so I was ignoring some people, ignoring some beauty around me. But I learned that every little thing has a beauty inside it. So it makes you, let's say, a philosopher in your daily life. So you become a philosopher the more you think about your environment and the people. So street photography changed me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so super. So Kagan, one more question. So I want to ask, you are finalist in many of big international street photography festival. So why you participate in these international photography competitions?
When you start, how can I say, uh, the more you develop in your street photography, you want to understand whether it's good enough or not. So you see a lot of photographers that you admire their work, and many of them gain their popularity thanks to those competitions. So I want to be known that I'm doing street photography and I'm good at it. So I want people to know me about my street photography. That's why I'm attending those. I'm joining those contests on those competitions, and uh, I think all photographers should be doing that to understand whether they are at good level or not. So that's why I joined those competitions, to understand where am I in those among those photographers.
Okay, super. So Kagan, my last question is, so there are a lot of beginner photographers who are watching this video. So do you have any advice for beginner street photographers?
Yeah, actually, I perceive myself still a beginner because it's just 2 years for me to be in street photography. So I'm taking those advices to myself as well. The thing I see with the beginner photographers, they want to become popular too quickly. So, but the street photography is about patience. So whether you are taking some photographs in streets, you need to be patient. Or whether you want to gain some popularity in street photography, you again need to be patient. It's a matter of time. So you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest some time for learning the other photographers and their routines, and you must watch and read their photographs. So the best thing for them, I think, to be patient and to spend more time on developing themselves. They need to stop worrying about the popularity or the followers on Instagram. They need to focus on their photography, and by that way, I think the popularity and the followers will come. So that's the best advice, I think, for all of us. And one more thing, Sachin. I took too many advantages of reading great photographers and watching their photographs. So whenever they have free time, I advise them to go on Instagram or Flickr or wherever they want. Go and watch their photographs. Read their photographs. That will improve their eye.
Okay, superb. So thank you so much, Kagan, for this amazing interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sachin. It's a pleasure for me.